Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to part 2 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity Deadfire. I'm thinking the game's a little bit loud. I haven't actually checked the first one, but let's just knock the volume of music to 60. That should be enough. So let's go into the wardrobe and do as we said and get our weapons.
Now make some use of it.
So let's equipping items. We're just gonna we'll look. I'll let you guys look at these. So you know, I'll just read it. If you click on an item in your inventory to pick it up, you can place it in any highlighted slot to equip it. You can also double click items to automatically equip them. So we're doing that. So we currently have 2 layouts now. We have a great sword and a sun shield. Now the reason why
the pirates of Deadfire are notorious. I suggest you deal with them quickly.
Alright, stewardess. So right, these are the abilities we got. So any weapons you're proficient with, you get abilities. So the first one is half sword, which is for the sword. You lose deflection, but you gain 2 penetration with sword weapons. And the wall, which is what you call for the tower shield, you take 50% less damage from ranged weapons, 50% damage from attacks versus reflex, but cannot move. So you are basically, you become a standing wall at that point. We can switch between all 3 of our weapon sets. Eventually we'll probably get a 3rd weapon set, but let's go deal with these pirates.
What have we here? A little sloop? Lost and alone in the storm?
A surly, brutish-looking captain stands stiff-backed before his crew. He scowls as he assesses you, his hair whipping about his ears and in the wind.
I'll be taking your ship now, if you don't mind. And especially if you do.
Well, at least he asked.
I am a gentleman of fortune.
The captain shrugs in the sheeting rain before pinning you with a slow, murderous grin.
Give her up easy, and I'll see you get a swift death. It'll be bloody and agonising, sure. But at least it'll be quick.
I'm going to make a rude hand gesture. Now I will say, ladies and gentlemen, this character is going to be very sarcastic, quite aggressive. He's going to be pragmatic more often than not. He's going to be kind of rational. He's going to be cerebral. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to use his feelings to decide how he acts. But he is, because he's a bleak walker. He's going to be he's been trained to be very, very aggressive. But he has definitely got a sense of humor. That's something I want in this character. Is a good sense of humor. So we're going to make a rude hand gesture. Adias smiles like he's just seen an old friend.
Always like that one. Sometimes I like to wiggle the finger like it's tickling.
We'll read dispositions once we get another. We can read that later, so don't worry.
Oh, I like your spirit.
He laughs long and loud over the din of the howling rain. Then he sobers instantly, his face a mask of rage.
But that won't spare you none. Listen up, mates.
He cracks his neck as he addresses his crew.
I'm off to spear me a bigger fish. One with sharper teeth like. I'm trusting you lot not to cock this up. Don't damage the sloop when you take it. Play with the crew if you'd like, but don't bring me any prisoners. None that are alive.
You heard, bandwidth! After him!
So now we're going to get our first taste of combat. Now first things first, I'm going to turn myself onto there's new behaviors now. So there's now, I will read that. Again, we'll read this when we're later. So we've got no AI, auto attack only, and active. So right now we're doing that, but first things first, we should actually be marking them for I think it's called mark of sworn enemy. So we're going to be sworn enemy, and these guys, sworn enemy increases damage dealt by everyone, plus I think it's like just increases the damage. I don't actually know what's certain. I don't think it's, yeah, it doesn't actually say what. It just says doesn't say how much, but it just says increases damage. And if we're quick enough, we can do both that and our Flames of Devotion. Now, our Flames of Devotion, as you can see, if you look at our character, you can see dark purplish flames. That is because we are a bleak walker, and bleak walkers, if you look at this, I don't know if it says, doesn't actually say, bleak walkers. Flames darken and apply the sickened affliction. So let's knock this. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly deal with this combat. We're going to knock this guy on his ass. And the good thing about this that has changed since the first game is now everything is per encounter. Like, every ability you have, even when you're a wizard, because my main character I play on this is a paladin wizard, and even all your spells come back after an encounter. So that's always cool to know. Yeah, things are going quite nice in here. There we go. That's guy dead. Now we could turn to a greatsword, but no reason to.
Storm's picking up! Take cover!
You defeated the pirates, but you're not out of the trouble yet. The storm picks up, lashing your ship and driving you dangerously close to a rocky shore. The Defiant's crew hurries to reduce sail and batten down the hatches. They work quickly, but the ship is still listing heavily. Just then, a loose crate tumbles towards you, gathering speed on the rain-slick deck. It misses you, but knocks Chitupek, one of your deckhands, off his feet. The Defiant heaves. Chitupek pitches over the side. He grabs onto the rail, but his fingers are slipping. He cries out for help. Meanwhile, the runaway crate totters on the edge of the deck, ready to plunge overboard. You recognize the symbol on the front, and likely it contains the salvage from Caed Nua, your keep. Now, in this situation, a deckhand is replaceable, but the goods in that crate is not. And in this situation, a bleak walker would save the crate. So that's what we're going to do. You seize the crate just as it's about to tip into the rolling sea. It's heavy, but you manage to heave it back from the edge. As it thumps onto the deck, you hear a faint scream and a splash. Chitupek is gone. There is no sign of him in the churning waves below. Meanwhile, the storm has nearly driven you to shore. A flash of lightning reveals a treacherous coastline of Earthis striding into the distance. The lookout barely has time to shout a warning before the Defiant runs aground. The impact hurls you from the deck and into the froth of waves, bodies, and splintering debris. You struggle toward the beach just ahead, even as the surf tugs you towards the open sea. You kick and paddle with all your might until at last you feel sand between your fingers. Pulling yourself ashore, you collapse.
You've been getting a lot of sleep so far on this trip. I'd have woke you, but you look so peaceful with your face in the sand.
Adair runs his fingers through his hair and removes a strand of seaweed he finds lodged there. He examines it closely, then tosses it onto the sand.
If you're worried about the ship, you can stop worrying. It's wrecked right over there.
He points out the Defiant, despite it being difficult to miss from your vantage point.
So far, it's just you and me and the chair lady over there.
Adair nods towards something further up the beach.
It's a relief to see you awake, my lord. I worried you were in for another long sleep.
Your steward appears to be lodged between some rocks. Despite this, her tone is warmly cheerful. I hate boats.
Shh. It's right behind you.
Unfortunately, I believe we'll be needing the Defiant yet. Unless you mean to settle down on the island for good.
Oh, there's a thought.
Any help here, Berth? There is no reply, save for the calling of gulls and the constant crash of water upon the shore.
I'd shout for Aethys, but I'm worried he'd hear me and come over.
Alright, can we patch up the ship?
I'm afraid I won't be much assistance in that regard. And not to doubt Master Adair's capacity, but even he would need supplies.
That's true. Steak, especially.
Patching the hull is only the start. You're going to need help getting the Defiant out to sea again. And a crew, for that matter.
Let's see about the other survivors. And somehow we gotta get the ship repaired. I don't want to be paddling out of here on a salvage raft.
For now, I'd say your best bet is to find some sign of civilization. If nothing else, we may be able to hire on a shipwright. My lord, if it is not too taxing, could you explain how it came to pass that you were returned to us?
My soul passed into the beyond and Berth gave me a choice. Find Aethys or die.
These gods. You make one deal with them to stop a madman, and the next thing you know, they're threatening your soul.
That isn't much of a choice. But castle or no castle, you are still my lord, and I will aid you to the best of my ability.
Well, I suppose we better get a move on.
Let's go. So, choose the single class or multi-class for this companion. This choice cannot be changed later. Now, I must admit, ladies and gentlemen, we'll look at the tutorials in a minute. This is something I really like about this, is that we could, there's like so many characters you can have that you can just obviously pick and chain. You can obviously pick them a multi-class or give them a rogue or fighter. Now, to me, having a fighter would be pretty useless, because like just having a plain fighter, because I feel the tank role better than a fighter would now, which is sounds weird, but I promise you, like a paladin fighter is single-handedly one of the best tanks in Pillars 2. As long as obviously I do it right. It is, I can fuck it up, but I looked this up to be, if I'm honest, this is definitely like not a meta class. Like I didn't go full balls to the wall, making sure every single stat was right. I chose all my weapons, I chose all my stats, but a paladin fighter is definitely one of the best. A swashbuckler, from personal experience, is actually very interesting. And I'm not gonna lie, a deer is actually really cool, interesting as like a rogue paladin. Sorry, a rogue fighter, because he can do a lot of crippling attacks while he's also, you know, also quite bulky, and it's actually quite interesting. So we're gonna make him a swashbuckler. So yes. We do have two what's it called classes, multi-skilled, multi-class.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at a deer. So first things first, we're gonna look at reputations. So. Right, so let's do the reputation UI. The Watcher's reputation and dispositions are displayed on the reputation wheel. A companion's reputation wheel displays their reputation with other party members and any biases they might have. Selecting characters. Select a party member, click on the selection circle, their portrait, or press the number that corresponds to their position in the party, starting with 1 at the left. To select multiple party members, click and hold anywhere on the screen and drag marquee over the circles of the party members you'd like to include. Select the entire party, press that button on the lower center of the screen, or press the black space key. Quest journal. As you receive quests, your journal update with relevant information. If you are ever stuck, open it and review your notes by pressing that button in the lower corner, or press the J key. Some of the quests you receive may be challenging until your character has achieved a higher level. A quest that is beyond your character level will be marked in your journal with 1, 2, or 3 skulls, 1 for every level. If a quest is more than 3 levels above your current character level, then the skull will appear red. Party AI. If you'd like your party to perform actions automatically in combat, you can select AI behaviors for them. Each class has multiple behaviors to choose from based on different roles they can fulfill. You also have the ability to fully customize and create new behaviors by opening the behavioral screen editor. The editor allows you to create new behaviors for your party members. Each behavior consists of an action set that dictate what your character member does in combat. An action set is a list of actions that have conditionals, targets, and cooldowns. Each class has several example action sets. You can duplicate an existing action set for a starting point on creating your own custom action set. I probably won't be messing with this too much, just like early on. Combat introduction, yeah, we already know that one's the same. And disposition, this is the only other new thing. You have gained a reputation in a disposition. Dispositions represent how people perceive your personality throughout the world. Even seemingly nasty reputations will be favored by some people, and benign reputations sometimes bring out the worst in certain people. No disposition is inherently good or bad in Pillars of Eternity to Deadfire. See an icon for the effect of the dialogue decision or disposition. Enable the show personality reputation option in the difficulty settings. So, we are disfavored by Bleak Wars to be diplomatic and benevolent, but we are favored to be aggressive and cruel. So we can be clever, honest, passionate. So we can still be an honest man. We can still be shady. We can still be stoic. But we can still be benevolent and diplomatic. It's just very much not something we do often. And this will show us our reputation. So any negatives or minuses in our reputation will be relationship with Adir will be shown there. And if we go to Adir, we can see his reputation. So he is he doesn't like animal cruelty. He's anti-Ephesian. Now this one always confuses me. I still don't know how to perceive that one. He's anti-leaden key. So it does have like a little description. He's animal kindness. So obviously he loves animals. He's pro-Ephesians. So he's a supporter of the Aeophis. But he's like, this is what I mean. These two contradict. Like, these two obviously fit perfectly, but these two, he's light-hearted, pro-leaden key. Yeah, so these ones, yeah, they do fit, just some of them don't make sense, but that's us. We've got records, and these are our exports. So we do have Ingrid and that left here. And this is where I could have actually, this is where I can show. Okay, apparently it won't let me do it right now. There we go, let me do it there. No? Okay. So,
what do you need?
Let's see what, can we talk to her?
So many souls lost. Surely someone else survived.
And so this is what we got. So in our thing we had Thief's Putty, Oil of Allure, and a killer's gauntlet, which is honestly more useful than a deckhand. We've got our pig, we've got our captain's hat, we've got that, and these items can go in here. I'm probably not going to use them, but you never know. Now, I am going to be turning the hat off, but the hat gives us Captain's Eye, which resistance to perception afflictions. While not flanks, the wearer has resistance to perception afflictions. Gorn's Pledge, which is, of course, the healing spell. And this, like I said, plus 10% crits with damage with weapons. So we do have a greatsword as well, so it's actually quite useful to have something like that. The cool thing about this game is, like, you can see the characters put the weapons away, which is cool. So we will be using our stun shield for now, because that is our...
Oh, you're too...
I mean, we do a lot more damage, but... So, let's have a look around. Let's go over here. We'll loot that. For now, it's best to just put everything straight into your, like... Yeah, in this, it's best just to have everything in party stash, and we'll just worry about the rest of it later.
Help! Somebody!
Ooh. Someone's asking for his help. So to get up here, obviously, we click on here. Now, this is something I like as well. They have changed these, and these are really good. But the Defiant is looking far worse for wear after its unexpected landfall. The hull has splintered in several places along the keel, while the tattered sails stand as evidence of your battle again with pirates. The deck of the Defiant is well out of reach from here. The ship groans like a beached whale each time the waves roll in, but it doesn't seem to be listing further. You may be able to climb it, so we can either use a rope and grappling hook, which we do have, or we can scale it by hand using an athletics check. We'll scale it by hand. Now, this is a watch-only check. Some checks you can have different characters use, but this is for us to do specifically. So we've got a 3, to be fine. You climb nimbly up the side of the ship and reach the top without so much as breaking a sweat. Adair is not far behind, pulling himself up over the railing beside you. So we made that very well.
What do you need?
Here is the deckhand who fell off the boat.
Watcher, is that you?
The ghostly figure turns towards you, voice rising eagerly.
It is strange. I see nothing. A gray nothing. What happened? I remember the ship listing under our feet. Something struck me.
You were killed by a crate. Not the noblest end, but at least it was quick, right?
Was it? I forget. I thought the end would be different. You were a watcher. You would have been our captain. Tell me, where am I to go?
Don't know, but if you see the Pallid Knight, say hello for me. Chittipek's ghostly brow wrinkles with mournful confusion. He says nothing further, but as you move away, you become aware of his presence following you into your wake.
Still seeing ghosts, huh? I suppose you're stuck with that.
I kind of want the tutorial screen back. Where is? I'm trying to figure out how to get it back without pissing about. Be right.
Uh-huh.
So, Irina.
You're looking better, Casita. That, or I'm worse off than I thought.
The sheen of sweat on her brow and the wan cast to her features belies Irina's casual greeting.
It's my leg, Matico. It hurts even worse than it looks.
Irina's leg bears a bloody gouge along the length of her shin, and the swelling around her knee suggests a nasty break. So we've got multiple things, but... Hang on, I'll carry you back down.
Quite romantic, Casita. I'll try not to hold it against you if you drop me.
So that's a single member of our crew found. And she's been placed next to this box. Let's see what's in it. A sword and some potions. So we have another spirit.
Hope the rest of those sodden bastards made it.
Got some more people to loot down here. Let's have a look what they've got. Nothing too interesting. Let's go back on the boat, see if I missed it. It's on the ship. Sorry, it's not a boat, it's a ship. See if we missed out. Alright, for having made the climb to the deck once already, you're fairly certain you can replicate your course. Climb up. You make your way up the hull, mindful of barnacles, and pull yourself up over the side. Yeah, we didn't miss anything, that's fine. There it is. Tutorials. Where? No. There's a specific one we get because we're a paladin. There it is. Paladin and priest. You have gained a reputation, disposition. Dispositions represent how people perceive your personality through the world. Even so, because you Watcher is a priest or a paladin, you must be careful not to misalign their disposition-wise the favoured by their deity or order. Respectfully, dispositions will modify the effects of Holy Radiance for priests and Faith and Conviction for paladins for the Watcher only. So essentially, we have to stick by what is our order expects of us. And we'll climb down. I'm not going to bother reading that. Let's not worry about it. So we've got some stuff over here to loot. Let's go and see what's over here.
I don't think I can pull that out.
Some Spire Sponge. Ingredients. We're not going to bother reading that. There were ingredients in the first one. Ooh.
Like a shadow on water.
So there's a boar.
Another for the Queen.
I'm going to quickly mark it.
The Queen awaits.
Sweet.
There we go. So you can stealth check in those circles. And doing a stealth check through those obviously is how you get backstab and whatnot.
I see your plan.
They start hearing you through those, but it's yeah, it doesn't really.
Hey, fancy seeing you here.
The spirit's voice warps and shifts, muted as if by a great distance. Even so, he grins brightly at you.
I can't see much of anything really, apart from you. Just endless gray.
Shoot.
What happened?
Go towards the light and all that.
I don't see any light, Captain. Just you. Is there supposed to be a light?
The spirit raises a hand over his eyes, peering out into the in-between. Bear have charged me with guiding souls to the afterlife, so I suppose you're my responsibility now.
Oh. Suppose that sounds nice enough. I'll follow you then, shall I?
Shrugs. If you must. The spirit falls into step behind you, radiating cheer. So there's Arena. Let's have a quick look at the map. Let's see, we've got a few places to explore. Obviously, we can't get down there apparently. But then, see, the one thing I like about this is now that in Pillars of Eternity 2 there's a follow cam, so I don't actually have to move the camera. I just follow. There's no moving the camera about with my middle mouse button, you know, just to mess about. It's nice, I must admit. And there's a sea cave. Well, yeah, let's go in here. Why not? Once we get in here, we'll end the part. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed part 2, and I will see you guys in part 3. See you guys then.